Well, greetings everybody. It's been a long time. It's been, I guess, a year, but I think it's about time. I guess I should have made one sooner, but I haven't really had time, and there's also been, some other people's videos that I didn't really want to associate with. So if I made a video at the same time as them, it would have kind of like seemed like I was making a reply to their videos, and that's obviously not what I want to do. But yeah, this is a video that will basically put into perspective why I left FTG, and it will also be a bit about the creation of OGR, Old Guard Reborn. Because there is a lot of, I guess especially when it comes to me leaving FTG, there is a lot of misinformation going around, and I guess part in due that is that I haven't really talked openly about it for good reasons. So this is like a new video format that I'm doing, instead of it being like the FTG history videos that came out like 10 years after FTG was made. These will more be like yearly, but yeah, more on that towards the end, because it may even be very different. But yeah, there has obviously been some drama going about on why I left FTG. I mean, these two memes here should let you in a bit on that. And it's also important to not take these memes as fact, as, they're just memes. And I mean, it's mainly me pulling the legs of some people and how silly they are. But yeah, I think everybody except them understands that. They have themselves been very active in this very one-sided drama, because I haven't really said anything openly other than like messages on Discord and such, which weren't really truthful messages. But they have instead had the approach of being like the mainstream media and trying to control the narrative and putting out videos and doing all kinds of like shit like that. But I mean, do I really fucking care? No, I don't. Because that's also a very important thing in all of this. It is that people, they're like, don't you feel threatened by this skill? I mean, they made a 1.5 hour video about you, and they made a podcast where they call you Voldemort. But I mean, in all seriousness, no, it doesn't affect me the slightest. It hasn't even slowed down OGR or anything like that, so I really couldn't give a less of a fuck. But unlike Joke Rogan and the Tarzan villain, there are some names that I will not mention, obviously, to protect some people. I know that they name call people left and right in their videos, but I'm not them guys. And especially when it's about more serious things and people's personal lives, I don't think that you really should bring them and their name into a video. But I mean, whatever works for you guys. I mean, thumbs up, I guess. So yeah, this drama in itself is it is a bit of a confusing one, even for those involved, because I guess background to the drama itself, it began with a meeting in 2024, June or July it probably was. Joker and Clayton forced me into a meeting, or they wanted to have a meeting about this. I really think that this was a dumbass fucking meeting, if I'm gonna be honest with you, because it was about a friend of mine's veteran rights, because they had left and rejoined the FTG Discord so many times. Yeah, oh my god. How can somebody commit such crimes? I mean, it's fucking madness, guys. It's actually rather weird and a bit disturbing how you guys sit and keep track of people leaving and rejoining the Discord. But I mean guys, if that's the community you want, I mean, you have it now. I mean, be fucking happy about it, yeah. But yeah, the meeting in general was pretty dumb, because it was basically like Joker was saying stuff like, oh, I don't think this person should have their veteran back because they have left and rejoined so many times, and the veteran role, it's something for somebody who's done something for FTG, which would narrow it down to like, I don't know, 5 people in general. But I mean, okay. But basically then I said stuff like, but this person has been BG3 HQ, they have done scrim teams, but these were apparently not things that was legitimate for having veteran rights, because they had left and rejoined so many times. And I mean, at that point it's just like, we come here to play video games, guys. And especially since most of the leaving and rejoining wasn't even about FTG in general, but I mean, that they have probably completely twisted. But I mean, but so we had this meeting at least, and they somewhat, I guess, understood that this person had many times left FTG, not related at all to FTG issues, more to personal issues. of having mental breakdowns, suicidal tendencies, those kinds of things. I think that was like at least understood, because that's what I mentioned in this meeting. But then in 2025, when this person left again because of a mental breakdown, then in the mod log, when this leave message showed up, then they were very quick to laugh about it, especially Joker. I mean, it was to my understanding at least that what happened in 2024, this meeting, this was very understood, that this isn't something that's funny at all. But they thought it was funny anyway, so that's why the mod log fight happened. At this point as well, I was pretty pissed off. So that's why a lot of the things I said in the mod log, I didn't really mean. I basically said like, oh, welcome to FTG, we make fun of people's mental issues and suicides. And this was more to, you know, kind of like, because I thought we were all in a big understanding of this isn't some, oh, fuck you FTG, now I'm leaving. This is actual, like, you know, something serious. But I mean, according to them, there was no context of this, even though half a year before that we had a meeting about it. I didn't think that this was something you forgot in like half a year. When it's especially something you're keeping track of and are very invested in, like they are, then you would imagine that they know about these things, yeah. But yeah, we had a bit of a modlog fight, and there was a lot of stuff said back and forth. I know that I told Joker to fuck off twice. But here's the thing as well, it's not like he was backing down or anything, he was very much like, you know, making fun of me and being cheeky and shit like that, and that obviously isn't a good thing to do when somebody is angry. And I think it was kind of like understood that I was angry, but I mean, I guess it's okay to make fun of me, you know, when these things happen, but when it's the other way around, then it's yeah. And I also said at some point that I was gonna make the modlog public, but that was never something I even did or was actually gonna do. But it was more to get him in that this is serious stuff. You shouldn't be, you know, joking about this. You shouldn't be going at me right now. Then again, this was also completely missed. And even though I haven't even watched their videos, I have seen some AI transcripts of like their videos, because for some reason a lot of people, when they watch their videos, rather than actually listen to their videos, they, you know, put it through some AI transcripts, and for some reason they post these to me as well and then ask questions about things like, did they really say this? Did they really do this? So there are some things I know that are in their videos, but yeah, others I really don't, because I haven't watched them. I can only really talk about the things that I've seen in these AI transcripts. If they're even correct, I don't even fucking know. I decided somewhere in this modlog fight that, you know, what we're doing is kind of pointless and it's kind of stupid, so I should probably delete everything that we have said so other people don't see it, because it would kind of like make us look bad, both of us here. But apparently, from what I understand from some AI transcript, then this they use as some kind of like, oh, Skill is hiding things and shit like that. And I mean, you know, the amount of times I caught them deleting stuff in the modlog and never said anything. Yeah, I'm the only one hiding things, guys. That's a good one. Yeah. Good point to bring up, yeah, because I'm the only one being honest about it. I mean, obviously I hide things. But this was more, at least at the time when I did this was more to protect Joker, because he was the one making fun of me, and I guess that was completely also missed, but yeah. But this brought them to bring me into the so-called first meeting that they advertised to me like, we're gonna talk about what happened yesterday in the modlog. I was like, you know, sure. I mean, at that point we could have moved on without some meeting. There wouldn't have needed to be one. Yeah, the first thing that happens when I come into this meeting is that Joker basically say to me, yeah, your buddy is not getting their veteran back and you're no longer fit to be the owner, hand over the permissions. It's like, yeah, we're gonna talk about what happened yesterday, but, you know, here we have already made our decision already in the first few seconds of this meeting. It's like, I mean, what did you guys expect to happen? Yeah. But yeah, this was also pretty dumb meeting for the most part, because this wasn't that different from, like, the first meeting weren't that different from the meeting in 2024. That one we can call the pre-meeting, I guess, because it was basically the same arguments. It's just that now they were angry. It's kind of like, I felt like we kind of like went past this in the pre-meeting in 2024, but apparently not. But this time there was also a lot more double teaming, because in the meeting in 2024 it was like 95% Joker, and every now and then Clayton came in like, why can't we be veteran gaming? And then I had to be like, no, Clayton, no. Yeah, so in this one, the way Joker saw the whole modlog fight was that he said, "Oh, you told me to fuck off so many times," and it's like, I said it twice, and I guess I should have said shut up. And for me, it was also pretty interesting how it was so bad of me to get angry in the modlog, you know, when it's about somebody's actual life. But when Joker got angry over the EU4 drama they had, what was it, 2023, 2024, I don't even remember. But because then when Don betrayed them, then Joker told Don that he can go eat a dick and die over and over and shit, but that was completely fine to have that reaction. But according to him, then he thought that I was gonna delete the Discord. That was the fear that unlocked for him, apparently, that I was gonna delete the Discord when we were having the modlog fight. But for some reason, he was still making fun of me. He wasn't showing any signs of actually, you know, being worried about anything. But this he explained like, "Oh, but I was gonna go down with the ship and fight to the very end." And these are kind of arguments that they don't add up at all. I mean, they probably sound good in your echo chamber when you explain them to each other, or when you explain them in your head. Actually bringing them up in a meeting like this, it don't make sense now, it didn't make sense then, it will never make sense. And they also for some reason said that the thing I said, like, "Oh, welcome to FTG, we make fun of people's mental issues and suicide thingies," like that whole thing, they were like, "Oh, this is you calling us toxic." Toxic is kind of like a word that they always fall back on. Usually when somebody has like left or don't want to hang out with them because of something that happened, and "Oh, they think we're toxic. That guy left because he thinks that we're toxic." And now they're like basically in this meeting they were trying to push it on me that I was saying that they were toxic. I've never said this, and this isn't a word I use very often. I think I've said it as a joke to them a couple of times, but never with the intention of like meaning it. Because there are a lot of people I've noticed ever since I left that call them toxic, but here they are, they're trying to push it onto me like, "You're calling us toxic by saying this." Like they're literally putting words in my mouth. It's kind of like, come on guys, like what are we doing right here in this meeting now? Yeah. And also for like the first and second meeting, I was also under emotional distress because of stuff happening in my life, so it's, you know, not the best time to have these meetings. And mental distress is something like that everybody can have. It's not something that applies to me in particular. For me it was my friend was having a mental breakdown and hadn't just left the FTG Discord, had also deleted me. Sure, I had messaged somebody who made sure they were okay, but a person can be alive 1 minute and dead the next minute. You never know. And it was also my dad in the hospital that week because he had 2 types of lung disease. It's those kinds of things that it can kill somebody my age, like just having 1 of them, and he had 2. So he was actually in the hospital having like oxygen gas just to, like, you know, be alive and not die. That also had, you know, my mood affected a lot by having this happen. And I think these are very reasonable things to understand. I don't think that anybody needs to explain in detail why it wasn't a good idea to have these meetings. And also obviously if the roles were reversed, if let's say Joker had some problem with Clayton and he wanted us to force Clayton into a meeting, if I then found out that Clayton had something going on in real life, I mean, the meeting would kind of end then and there. We wouldn't continue any further until it was okay to do so. But I guess when it's me, it's okay to run me over with a fucking tank, but when it's somebody else, it's okay to be respectful, yeah. But yeah, don't be respectful to skill, yeah, he can handle that shit, yeah. But it was funny, because when I mentioned, for example, this thing about my dad, then Clayton actually started to stutter a bit. And like before that he was, you know, very aggressive kinda, but he actually started to stutter when I mentioned this, and I did still like carry out, I mean, I guess what he wanted to say, because you know, they were talking a lot about, they weren't saying it outright, but they were kinda like, yeah, maybe you should give up your ownership, yeah, maybe you should think about it, yeah. And then they started to bring weird stuff in, like, you know, that I've been saying a lot, that I'm gonna retire. And in October 2024 I first made a video where I mentioned this, and ever since then everybody else mentioned it. And I even made a video after that where I said that I don't like that people mention it, but for some reason they brought this into the meeting anyway, that you mention a lot that you're gonna retire the whole time, why don't you just retire? Yeah, we get to the whole retirement thing later, I guess. And also at the very beginning of the whole meeting they wanted me to apologize for what I said to Joker in the mod log, and this one was actually a bit weird because I had to apologize, but not Joker. They were like demanding basically that I needed to apologize, and also as somebody pointed out, I mean, just go to Google and type what is the trait of somebody who forces other people to apologize. I mean, yeah. But yeah, the first meeting was pretty stupid, if I'm gonna be honest. Because like I said, when I mentioned the thing about my dad, and Clayton actually did, start to stutter, kind of like giving me the impression that he kind of realized that this was a very bad time to do this. But I mean, he went through with it, so whatever. Joker obviously didn't care at all. Even when talking late about this, and I said like, yeah, when I said that thing about my dad, you didn't back down or anything, and then he was like, no, I didn't care about that, because then I was in attack mode. Great friends I've been having, right? Yeah. But so yeah, this meeting kind of like finally ended. I guess they kind of like put together a lot of minor things, and then I don't know. It was kind of weird. It was kind of like they were planning this whole thing. It wasn't just about the whole modlog fight. That's the thing that in general makes this meeting very weird. It is that they advertised it as, yeah, we're gonna talk about what happened yesterday, and very little about that other than me like apologizing for it, because every point that I tried to make in about, yeah, but Joker kept on saying this and that, then they would quickly like change the subject to something else. I felt very like this meeting was very like planned. There wasn't like we have reached a common ground now. It's more like, yeah, Skill, you did wrong, and that was bad, yeah, and Joker didn't do nothing, yeah. And they also brought up a lot of other weird shit in this meeting, like how I hadn't been interacting with the community a lot lately, and like it was just a bunch of things they put together to kind of like make this seem like, yeah, Skill, it's probably time to pull the plug on you, yeah. And a lot of that was actually bullshit. So I mean, it was also like for like many years there have been a lot of like dramas where I'm at focus and people often like give me shit about a lot of things, but now it was actually like the two people that I at least thought I trusted the most, and I mean, I thought that feeling was mutual, that we were doing this together, but yeah, I guess not, yeah. And this is kind of like what ignited a little spark in me again, which I guess is a good thing, because that's why we have OGR today, yeah. But at this point in time, during the first meeting, we were not yet at the point where I would actually leave, yeah. It was funny, because before the first meeting, like the day before we had the first meeting, I saw that Joker and Clayton were sitting with Mad Shark in the meeting channel. So I actually got a little bit curious, like, why were they talking to him, yeah? So I actually reached out to Mad Shark, and he went into a voice call with me, and oh my god, like, what the fuck. Mad Shark basically explained that they brought him into this meeting, started asking his opinion about this whole thing, and Mad Shark was actually defending me. Anybody ever has a problem with you, Mad Shark? I mean, we fucked them up, yeah. Just give me a call or 5. But these things actually like did piss me off a lot to find out that they had actually gone to these lengths. And when I even asked about it in the first meeting, because I was like, yeah, I saw that you guys were sitting in here with Mad Shark, and then Joker was like, yeah, we were asking him on how to go at you, and then Clayton was very quick to be like, no, we didn't do that, yeah. Really, really wasn't a good look, guys. Really. This prompted me a bit to make a meme, and I guess this meme was greatly misunderstood. The meme looks like this, and I guess I forgot to add like a bar in at the top where it would have said something like how people think defending FTG's honor is versus how it actually is. But I forgot to add that in, so I sent this to Joker, and he took this whole meme very wrong. And we were meant to like play PUBG then, because it was Friday. Then he started talking about that we needed to have more meetings, and I said here I don't want to have any more meetings. And this is something they've taken away out of context, because this basically meant that I didn't want any more meetings right now. But this they have taken as their proof of me never wanting any more meetings. I mean, guys, seriously. In whole 2025, if we exclude the meetings I had with you, I still had more meetings in 2025 than what you guys had successful events. So obviously, this was more meant as at that time. But this brought us into like the second meeting, because suddenly Clayton was online. He had been offline, but suddenly he was online and they were ready for another meeting. I tried my best to not go into this meeting, but they started having the meeting in front of the members, like Dawn, for example. And I did not think that was like a good thing to have. So I agreed to this. It was going to be a short meeting, even though it lasted like 40 to 45 minutes, probably longer. But yeah, in this meeting there was a lot more manipulation, and this is basically the meeting that made me realize that, yeah, it's time for me to leave. So everything that was planned from that point on till the point we are today, it all comes from the second meeting. When you say that you're somebody's friend, you don't sit them with a channel and manipulate them like this. Now there is a lot of context all of a sudden to all the things that are going on, and still you decided to pull me into a meeting, go at me, and being that I was at emotional distress and with all the things going on in real life, you decided this was the time we needed to attack Skill. Yeah. They have advertised this second meeting as them being respectful towards me, but trust me guys, I didn't leave because they were sitting in a channel being respectful towards me. Absolutely not. It was very clear in this meeting that all they really wanted to do was just to argue. There was no let's come to a conclusion. What they failed to understand a lot in the second meeting is just because I'm at an emotional distress does not mean I'm defenseless. There was a lot of things I said in this meeting that were setups to see their reaction. That paints the picture for me, what they want and what they will do to achieve it. It wasn't like that in the very beginning. It more came to that point when it started being very silly. And Joker even did slip up at some point, because he was kind of like, yeah, you should just give up the ownership right now. I was like, right now? And then Clayton was very quick to jump in and be like, no, he didn't mean right now. Like, guys, this was really not a good look either. But yeah, they were putting a lot of pressure on me in this, and eventually there was even health bars above their heads, if you know what I mean, because it was very clear that these are not my friends. These are people that are against me, basically. And that's no way to run a community, if I'm being honest with you guys. They also a lot more brought up and talked about my friend's veteran permissions again, and the way there was a lot of like miscommunication, it was in ways like, before the second meeting I said to Joker, I don't want to talk about my friend's veteran permissions because right now they could be off committing suicide, so I don't want to talk about it. Then Joker said, I understand. In the second meeting, Clayton started bringing up this whole veteran permission thing again, and I was like, but I don't want to talk about this right now. Joker even agreed, and then Joker said no. Because it was apparently different from like 10 minutes before when we were outside of the meeting. Because now when we're in the meeting, then emotions don't apply anymore, I guess. Yeah. And they also, for some reason, like I don't know why, but they brought up their whole like EU4 drama and brought that into this. How Don betraying them in EU4 and it being a real life betrayal, and why somebody can't have veteran because of this. And it's so weird shit, to be honest, to bring up in a meeting like this. Was really not a good look, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. At the start of the meeting, I even brought up a mediator as a joke, but this they started like turning into their thingy towards the end. And this is also the thing. They have probably gone around and said that, oh, we said that we could do the meeting later and we would have a mediator. When they started bringing this up, we were 30 minutes into the meeting. It was already way too late for anything at that point, if I'm gonna be honest. The point where I was gonna stay in FTG was way past when this mediator bullshit was brought up. That's why I said I don't want a mediator. And this they also turned into like their thingy that Skill refuses to have a mediator. And there was obviously a lot of things I said in this just to see their reactions, and those things they have actually like turned into a real thing. Like, he was making fun of us. He said that this guy was gonna rejoin and he was gonna give him veteran straight away, and that made us angry. It's like that was the whole point of bringing that up, to show how fucking childish you are. There was also one point where Joker was like, but think about the last 4 years of FTG. Who has done the most for FTG then? Can you say who that is, Skill? And then I was like, Clayton? Yeah, so he should be the owner. Yeah. Maybe the one who has owner should be the one that does the most. It was very clear that they were very into getting the ownership off me. They even got like manipulative about it. Like I tried saying that, you know, this is making me feel uncomfortable now, the way that you guys are acting. Then they were like, oh, I'm sorry, that's the way how you feel, but that's not what we're trying to do. Okay. Whatever you say, buddy. And there was also a point where I even tried agreeing with them just to see how they would react to that. Yeah, and that almost worked. It almost worked, but yeah, because what they wanted was some. I don't know, it was some dumb shit like somebody who, has left the FTG Discord and rejoins, they don't get veteran straight away, they have to wait 6 months or something like that. So I was like, okay, let's do that. Then, me and Clayton actually started to get somewhere, because it was kind of like, yeah, just announce that somewhere that we're gonna do that, and it will be all good. But then, it started going south again, because he was like, but why should we have to announce anything? Isn't that common sense? Yeah, of course. Like, it's written in the Bible about the FTG Discord. That's how important it is. Yeah, no, like, guys, you seriously, you lost me in that meeting, to be honest. And then there was also stuff like, where Clayton was like, yeah, but let's go through step by step what you think is gonna happen when you give us ownership. All of these things, yeah, they're very, very good, guys. Very good. But so yeah, the second meeting did not go well at all, as you can probably understand. There are probably some details I'm missing about it. That's just how it is. I don't feel like sticking around in the second meeting too much. But I think you all can understand that this was probably the point where, yeah, they probably lost skill at this point, yeah. So here it was very clear for me that I was gonna leave. I know it's been a little bit confusing after that, but this was basically what, like, just the complete lack of respect they had, all the manipulation and some of the things they said, it completely changed my perspective around. We'll get a little bit more into later why I chose to leave and, didn't just move them down to member, because they were saying that as well, like, yeah, you should, if you don't agree with us, you should just remove our admin. They were bringing all these things up, like, yeah, guys, I kind of see what you guys are doing here. So it was pretty clear that the very next day, that's when I posted my leaving thing, and I had to post it the next day when both of them weren't online, because if I had posted it right then and there and left, they would have just deleted it. I'm pretty sure they would have. My leaving message was pretty lackluster, but I made it in like about an hour, so I mean, apologies for anybody it did confuse. It's funny because some of the people who are with me today in OGR, they actually did read the whole thingy, and they knew from that message that something wasn't right. But yeah, the more interesting part was that as well, that I did reach out to both Joker and Clayton the very next day. Here's where we also come to a very interesting thing in this whole thingy. It is that Joker didn't reply to me at all, and Clayton only replied a few times but then stopped replying. So it's very clear that, like, whenever I type to them, then it's okay for them to ignore me completely. But when they want me, like, in some meeting or want me to reply, it's okay for them to spam me and, force me into these interactions. It's just, yeah, very nice guys, yeah. But so they didn't make any public announcement, no nothing, for about a week. So I made a post on my personal Discord, the Secret Yogurt Society. I basically said that I had the second meeting recorded and I had played it for people. I did say some stuff, and this was like all intentional, to be honest, because I knew that I was at this point not coming back. So I wanted to basically bring this whole record thingy up, because like, when it comes to Clayton in particular, like back in 2020 he recorded me, and this recording, like, this was during the Mad Shark drama. This recording is still uploaded somewhere for people to listen to, but he has never, like, even apologized or said anything about that, like, oh, sorry I did that. It wasn't even he who told me, it was Mad Shark told me about that. Otherwise that would have completely gone under my radar, to be honest. So that was more like a jab towards him, that I mentioned the whole recording thing. This prompted Clayton to actually reaching out to me, and then he was like, oh, people have been typing to us. Yeah, that's kind of like what these apps are about. People type to you, yeah. But then he, wanted to force me into a third meeting. And I probably shouldn't have agreed to this meeting either. So the third meeting was basically just a filler meeting, because here he started blaming Joker for everything that Joker said. The second meeting, oh, that was crazy and Joker shouldn't have been there and I shouldn't have brought him in. It was a big blame on Joker all of a sudden. He was also like fighting very defensively, being like, how could you do this to us, Gil? You left us, how could you do that? We were gonna bring in a mediator and talk about this. Yeah, right. That's also the thing, like, when they're on their own, they aren't really that hard to argue down. That's why they fall into these defensive thingies where they put all the blame on me or somebody else. But yeah, a big mistake I made in this third filler meeting. I call this the filler meeting because a lot of the things Clayton said in this thing, like he went back on stuff he said in the first and second meeting, only to later, go back on them again. So, I mean, that's why I call it the filler meeting. But a huge mistake I did in this meeting was that I actually rejoined the FTG Discord, and that was a big mistake. It did confuse a lot of members, I think, because they think that the conflict was resolved, and it was not. But it was kind of clear that Clayton wanted me back in there, and I was kind of like curious why. And I found out after I rejoined, because as soon as I had like rejoined the FTG Discord, that's when he posted his announcement how FTG is now for the veterans. Yeah, something he went back on later. Yeah, I've heard at least. But so it was clear that bringing me back in and posting this was symbolic for them. That look, we have resolved the issues and now we can run this veteran gaming community. I really shouldn't have rejoined, and it didn't really bring me any feelings of, oh yeah, I'm home, because it was more like, when you lived someplace but then you moved out, and then later you walk by and it's a crack house and some dog has been eating up the tree you used to climb when you were a kid. That was more the feelings that it gave me. But this of course also brought us into the fourth and final meeting, and this meeting was meant so Joker could accept that I was back. And Joker wasn't allowed to talk in this meeting either, because according to Clayton, Joker had like confused things, and it was thought that if Joker talked he would confuse things again and get things wrong, and then yeah, whatever. So me and Clayton basically had to sit and talk in this meeting about everything that had happened until Joker was satisfied with the whole thing. In this meeting I was obviously mostly playing along. Already then the plans for OGR was already made. And there's a lot of people that will tell me that it was mean of me to do this and not tell them, but it's kind of like, the way they treated me in the first and second meeting, yeah, they are not my friends. They don't need to know anything that I have planned. It was that simple, yeah. But also in the fourth meeting, they decided to remove my 10-year veteran status and my veteran status. And this is something a lot of people have actually like reacted to. It's funny to me. Like, when I first told people about this, I didn't even like think about it all that much. But a lot of people, they have been like, I hope you're joking. Because it's clear this is their way of showing that I'm now a lesser like being than the rest of them. That's why they removed my 10-year veteran and veteran. It's basically to show like, oh yeah, skills era is over. Now we are the big dogs here. It's their whole like being online bullies. They're very good at being online bullies. It gives themselves like kind of like a personal gain and a personal satisfaction to do those kinds of things. But so yeah, during this time, or shortly after the fourth meeting, that's when FTC started, and that was 4-2 Commando. That was what OGR was called at first. It was our placeholder name. And this was all built on a template of the FTG Discord, because a lot of the colors and things like that, they are my personal preference, that the admin is green, the moderator is orange. Like, those are my personal like preferences. And that's the ones we had on the forums back in the days. So that's the ones I stuck with. So because there's a lot of people that think that I basically recreated this whole Discord and like made the colors similar, but that's not the case. Even if you look at like all the channels and look at the channel descriptions for like the general channel and the meme channel, that's the channel descriptions I gave the FTG channels in 2016. That's why also like I kept the veteran role in the FTC Discord, and like keeping the veteran role and advertising it, and at the same time I was also setting up messages that I knew was gonna be found and looked at by Joker and Clayton. Like, all of this was very intentional. Like, they probably brought this out in their videos like it was some big secret Scooby-Doo detective thingy, but they were in reality really put there for them to find and to take out of context. So I mean, I guess guys, good job. Yeah. These were basically things for them to find and kind of like realize that yeah, it's probably not a good idea to talk with Skill. Yeah. But Clayton started reaching out. You can kind of tell by the way he's like reaching out here that this is not how somebody who's your friend is reaching out to you. And from what I've read in some AI transcript, he says that I was cold and vague here or some shit. Like, damn, you really like using big words and not knowing shit about them, Clayton, yeah. But yeah, he basically starts bringing up then my leaving message, and it is funny also how he puts like some things in bold and shit like, yeah, this was the most ridiculous drama ever. Though I think if we actually got into it, I think the drama where you and a couple of other people were going up against the private channels, I think that was a bit more ridiculous drama, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. But you know, like whatever it is you do to sleep at night, then yeah, keep telling yourself that, I guess. It's also funny because now all of a sudden he also starts bringing up like, oh, you're gonna throw away years of friendship. It's like, the way you guys treated me, you guys aren't my friends. I don't know why this is what you're bringing up all of a sudden. But this is also, again, this is a lot of like the manipulation. And like the thing is here, like when you look at these messages, right now he doesn't know if he wants to insult me, manipulate me, save me, or reason with me. So he tries to do all things at the same time, and it just doesn't work. But we had like an altercation back and forth a bit, and I was not really in for it, so I just wrote some random shit that he would expect me to say. I have seen as well in their transcript that they're referring to something as skills manifesto, and I mean, I never wrote a fucking manifesto. But this is also like, this more like goes into the whole like, they're trying to make me out as the bad guy in this. Like, somebody who makes a manifesto, that's usually what you hear about, like those that commit acts of violence, like, you know, school shootings, terrorist attacks, random murders in the street. Like, those people usually like write a manifesto beforehand, so I guess they're trying to like cater into that yeah, this is Skill's manifesto before he went evil completely. Like, very, very great, guys. It probably fits your whole story narrative about this very well, yeah. But yeah, at first I didn't even reply to Clayton's message here, so then as kind of like a little thing, he removed my access to the FTG meme channel. Come on now you're literally like using your admin powers for your personal satisfaction. Like, I don't have any real like reason or even obligation to even reply to you, so I don't know why you're doing this and hoping that this is gonna make me reply. This is again bringing into the whole online bullies thing, how they so casually like use their admin permissions to like mess with people, remove people's access and remove people's role. It's just, you know, them showing their true nature, and I mean, good job, guys, good job. This probably brought like more bad to FTG than good in general, because that means the only people that are missing my memes are people in FTG. All the other 15 discords that I post memes on, and people laugh about it and thank me for posting memes. I mean, do you really think you're gonna have an effect on me there? And what's funny as well is that around the same time, somebody in the CSGO Pug channel wanted to have the server invites re-enabled, and that took Clayton like 40 minutes to do. And it's kind of like, yeah, when it's about helping the community, then it's okay to be slow and be like, oh, I don't understand what's wrong, but I'm the owner, yeah. But when it's about removing somebody's access for it being a personal, look what I did to Skill, then it's all quick and fast, yeah. Really, really, really great, yeah. But yeah, they weren't done at all after this, because then they suddenly put out a podcast about me, where Skill is Voldemort, yeah. So, Voldemort, yeah, because I shaved my head and I'm bald, yeah. Why not Altair, Kratos, Revan, the Jedi Exile, Joshua Graham, like somebody who more ideologically in line with me, you know. But yeah, let's make it funny, yeah. He's this wizard guy who can't even take over a school, yeah. Very funny. And yeah, this whole podcast I haven't even watched. Like, I think I watched the first like 10 seconds. Like, damn you for going into our fucking museum and into that submarine. Do you know how many jokes I get in OGR about this fucking submarine? Like, yeah, when you do your next bathtub video, then you need to have a toy submarine that you eat. But yeah, they basically talk down on me a lot in this. They talk about sides of coins and facts, and here is what you know, somebody from OGR said about this whole thing. I haven't watched it myself, so I can't really say much about it, but I'll let this speak for itself. Yeah, water under my bridge, yeah. More like water under your bed. Maybe you should go to a doctor and have that looked at, yeah. But yeah, when I didn't react to the podcast, that's when Clayton even said to me at some point that he had unbanned Jetty from the FTG Discord. And if you know, Jetty used to be like the biggest villain in FTG until I became the biggest villain, but now that he's only second, then maybe it was okay to unban him. Yeah, it was kind of weird because when they told me that Jetty was unbanned, they were also like, yeah, don't tell Jetty about it though, because Init don't want it broadcasted everywhere that Jetty has been unbanned. But I knew this was bullshit. So I let Jetty know that the unban had happened. Very shortly afterwards, that's when Joker and Clayton slided into Jetty's DMs and started talking about bringing Jetty into their podcast and being like, yeah, we unbanned you as well, yeah, we're the good guys, yeah. Yeah, all those free times where I tried unbanning Jetty and it didn't go through, yeah. Jetty did show me parts of the chat, because Jetty actually tried to understand the greater issue between, like, me, Clayton and Joker. In the end, Jetty just understood the whole reason why I left, so I mean, I guess good guys, you really made a good point there. Yeah. I did watch some of the things that they were saying, but it was mainly like stupid stuff. Like it was stuff like, yeah, you say one thing to Skill and it goes in through one ear and comes out of the other ear. To me, these things sound so funny because whenever somebody talking bullshit, I don't really respond to it. So that basically means whatever you said that I didn't respond to or went through my ear, I guess, that was just bullshit. So sad that probably you didn't realize that, yeah. And there was also stuff like, because Jetty was talking about a possible like merge between OGR and FTG, and you know, they were saying stuff like, Skill will never be the owner of FTG again. It's like, damn, you're so cool, man. Can you sign my tits, please? No, I'm just kidding. Never fucking speak in my presence again, you dumbass. But yeah, so from this, they for some reason, at first they were gonna make some video and explain their side to Jetty, but instead this turned into the big video flop, as it's more known now. And Clayton even came into my DMs to advertise this big video flop. I guess this also was the last time he actually tried starting a conflict with me, but I was really so far beyond them at that point, so I just really didn't care. It was like so obvious. He was like, I don't even remember what he was saying. It was just some stupid shit like, yeah, we can't allow this twisted narrative to exist, and without people knowing there is a different side to the coin. It's like, yeah, you know, you should have made a video like back when I left. Now a couple of months after at this point, it's just really dumb, but okay. But he also made it known that Joker will come and pick up the FTG coin, because they were still in my possession at the time. He also made me aware that, you know, they would be making this video and it was going to be podcast format, and it's like, yeah, I get it, guys, you make podcasts now, okay, good. No need to mention it the whole time, yeah. Now, the big video flop actually did worry me a bit at first, because I didn't know what they were gonna say and mention, and I mean, I still haven't even watched it, so I mean, yeah. Since the big video flop flopped and the OGR members actually understood my side, it's actually funny because a lot of the people I recruited to OGR, I didn't tell them the full story. I just told them there is problems between me, Clayton and Joker, so I'm gonna start over somewhere else without them. And that was basically it. Some people I told a little more. I think Jetty and Greedy Chris are probably the ones I vented the most on. When this whole thingy was brought out to light and a lot of the OGR members saw the video, they probably didn't have the reaction you guys were hoping them to have, because they actually, you know, sided with me. And it's kind of funny to me as well, because when I added the Discord tag, it was like a few days after I had sent this video around. Then everybody that I had sent it to that didn't, you know, comment on the video, they suddenly like wore the OGR tags when I made them available. So that to me, you know, it speaks more than words, to be honest. And I mean, this whole like big video flop, it's basically just a propaganda video that they send around and hoping that it will stick to people. It's like 1.5 hours long or some shit. I mean, I guess go watch it if you want, if you haven't already. Another important thing is that, well, when Clayton was teasing the big video flop, he was also like, and after this, we don't want to talk about this anymore. It's like, yeah, I tried stopping this ever since the first and second meeting, but thank you for finally fucking understanding, dude. Good on you, yeah, good on you. That would be where the things, I guess, would end. But then a couple of months later, they made some podcast when they're on like vacation and shit. Their Joker says, thank you, Skill, for starting this mess. You guys are the ones that started this, have been carrying this fucking one-sided drama. I haven't done shit. Like, I've typed around to some people and told them a little bit about this, but I'm allowed to do that, and I will continue to do that probably for the rest of my life. I will continue to tell people what kind of dumbasses you are. But you guys are the ones that started it. There did never have to be a big fucking thingy about the veteran role. There did never have to be a big thing about people leaving and rejoining the Discord. Like, this is an FTG problem. In other Discords, because I'm in a lot of Discords and I interact with a few of them, this is never an issue anywhere else. It's only an FTG. Many people that are from like outside FTG that I have explained these issues to, they will be like, shit, how did they become like this? Why haven't you told them that they shouldn't be like this? I mean, I have. Many times I've told you guys that this isn't how to do things, but yeah. At the end of the day, the way you guys treated me in the first and second meeting, that's the main reason why we are where we are today. And I guess there are many alternative paths that we could have taken with this, because like I said, when I first decided that I was leaving, I still was the owner of FTG. I could have done things very differently. There's a lot of people have brought up the whole thing like, why didn't you just demote these guys and promote other people? And it's kind of like, that one I've already talked a bit with Clayton and Joker about, but they think that's the only path that the only alternative path that could have happened. But that's far from the truth, to be honest. Because I mean, if you look at it how it is today, I left because of them, and I have them both blocked. And that's probably not something that's gonna change ever. It is probably very delusional for them to think that if I remained as the FTG owner, that they would remain in FTG too. I mean, it's kind of obvious that they wouldn't just be demoted, they would be banned, probably permanently. And at the end of the day, that's also not the way how I think that one should like run a community. When it is like that, then it's better to just walk out. And after all, they really wanted ownership because they had so many plans and blah blah blah. So I mean, sure, here, have the ownership. The path I did pick for this is, mostly beneficial for both OGR and FTG members alike. I think had I remained and kicked them both, it probably wouldn't have been good. Yeah, I think we all can understand that. Yeah. And same with if I had remained in FTG, because that's the thing as well. They wanted me to remain as kind of like a, I guess, meme role is a kind of like low way of putting it, but they basically wanted me to be like a guy that they could like refer to and be like, haha, yeah, we are the owners of FTG, and this is Gil here. He used to be the owner, but we took ownership from him, but he knows everything, and he's the historian, yeah. I guess they wanted me there because I am somebody who I do get shit done when it's needed, and I know how to work with people, obviously. But that was also never gonna be like the way you guys treated me. I was never gonna remain as that role. I know that that's what you guys wanted and probably dream about still to this day, but that was never gonna happen. I'm never gonna be some third-rate underling to you guys that push your will forward when your will is just to exclude people and have your little safe space in there and echo chamber. And it's funny because I didn't even, the whole thing why I call it like an echo chamber, that's something that other people have been saying. I had to even look up what this word means, and when I did I was like, oh fucking hell. But yeah, despite the fact that I've been doing everything in my power to make this as smooth as possible. Obviously it hasn't been as smooth as possible, and that's a little bit due to how I've done it. It's not perfect, and I'm sorry for that. But Clayton and Joker is also not really, they have done their part in keeping this door. Like, they're the first ones that made videos about it, like, publicly, and both their like podcast where they're like, yeah, Skill is Voldemort, yeah, and their like big video flop that they have hidden like some pussy tactic. But they have done everything to make me appear as the villain and themselves appear as the good guys, and it's very ungrateful because I literally gave you guys exactly what you wanted. I gave you guys ownership. I moved away. The people that would have caused a problem for you, they went with me, and still you guys, are after me because of this and flex on me and shit like that. Like, yeah, very cool, guys, very cool. But yeah, this is also, I feel like I've spoken enough on this now. I should probably not speak about it any longer, because I think I have finally said everything I needed to say about it, and there are probably stuff I missed, probably stuff I said wrong, but fuck it, whatever. Like, I probably never have to speak about it again. Hopefully. It's also possible that Joker and Clayton will make more videos and stuff out of this to keep themselves relevant, but they feed on these kinds of things. Now they have like fresh new content. They can be like, oh, look, Skill said this and that, but actually this and that. Like, that's what they love to do, and that's what they'll probably keep doing. That's also the thing, like, I never wanted to destroy FTG. If I could have done that very easily back then, but that wasn't even on my mind. This whole thing about deleting the FTG Discord and all that stuff Joker and Clayton came up with, and narratives they pushing, that was never on my mind to begin with. Have never been on my mind even to delete the Discord. Even in some of the earlier renditions of me like breaking off, I was actually gonna recreate FTG, but I again thought that this would kind of like defeat the point in general about leaving FTG and recreating it somewhere else. And it would also be very unfair for Joker and Clayton, because even though they think that, they're quite safe in there, they have their moderators promoted to protect themselves. I mean, if I ever were to attack FTG, it would never happen in there. It would happen in places where they don't have any power. And yeah, it would generally also be stupid to like recreate it, because then it would make more sense to just keep it and kick them out. But that in itself would also create a bit of problems, yeah. And I think we're too old to have these kind of debacles back and forth anyway, and you could easily say that by leaving I have probably saved FTG for one final time. But yeah, it's kind of like a final word to FTG, like the community itself. I guess my leaving message, it was lacking a lot. If I were to make a whole leaving message, it would probably be a book. I actually did have a leaving video, but it was cancelled, because in this video I spoke positively about both Clayton and Joker, and after they put their propaganda video out, or the video flop or whatever, I kind of felt like, yeah, they probably don't deserve to hear this kind of positivity. In a way, that kind of video would have kind of shown another side of the coin, yeah, how this whole drama probably wasn't what everybody thought it was. But yeah, I did make a leaving video, but it is cancelled. I still have the thing, and I did speak about a couple of members like PMH, Madshark, Don, Zodiac, Stargate in it, I think. I mean, if you guys want those, then just DM me and I can probably like edit them out of like the whole video and send them to you, yeah, unedited, yeah. Yeah, so when it comes to FTG in itself, I mean, I joined back in September of 2010 when I was only 21 years old, and when I left I was 35. So that's a pretty long time I was there, 14 and a half years. And for at least 12 years I was the owner. I don't have the exact dates in my head, but it's something like that. Even though this kind of like ended on a drama, yeah, that's not how I reflect on the whole thing, yeah. Because for the most part it has been a bit of a journey. I have grown a lot from doing the things I've done in FTG over the years, and I'm probably a very different person from when I first started, because I've learned a lot from being in FTG. I've met a lot of wonderful people as well. Some of them still are with me in OGR to this day. I've had great times as well with some of the events we've had. Like, for most part of its history, I have been the one hosted the most events probably. It will probably take about 10 years before they even get close to coming up in the amount of hours I've put down in different trainings and events. FTG was given to me by Greedy Chris, and when he gave it to me he said take care of FTG for me, and that is many times what I've fallen back to in dark times when there haven't been a lot of people showing up for the trainings or the events. And I know for a fact that I have not always done things correctly. I've made a lot of mistakes, that I can be openly honest about. From what I've been told by a lot of people, at least ever since I left FTG, is that like a lot of you have reached out to me and said very kind words to me, and that in the end is what means a lot, because a lot of these things I've done without any form of gratitude. Many times it's been as well like you have specific times when trainings and events happen, but then all of a sudden people, they start other games when it's time for those kinds of things, and it's kind of like, why am I doing this for these people, you know? But some of you that have reached out to me and told me that I am the blood of FTG, I mean, that's very kind of you to say, and it does mean a lot. Obviously it was very sad for me to leave, but it's also kind of like you have to do these kinds of things sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't feel right. What many people obviously don't understand, I mean, you're obviously probably first now hearing about the cancelled like leaving video and all that, but there has obviously been a lot of doubt. Like what I've done to like leave FTG and start OGR, it's not an easy thing to do. I know that in Joker's and Clayton's videos they probably make it seem like I'm just some bad guy scheming behind the scenes to, you know, save myself. But that's not really the case. Yeah. But yeah, for those of you that have been active when I have been active and have showed up to the events that I have hosted and all that, thank you all. And same for all of those of you that have supported me through the years. I would like to thank you guys too, because it like I said many times, it feels like you're sitting there alone doing these things, and people don't really appreciate them. Never mention them. They're more like, oh, wasn't it funny when I team killed that guy? Yeah, very funny. And it's very obvious now that I have left that they will probably remake the FTG history and probably exclude me from a lot of the things, but that is what is to be expected, to be honest. There is a lot of my free time I've used up to make FTG happen. Most of that I know that nobody will ever give a fuck about. That's just how life is, yeah. They'll probably invent filler characters and be like, oh, Skill was not the one that did all the NW events. That was actually this guy called Bob, yeah. He's a close friend of Joker, yeah. I do get a lot of questions in general about how they're running FTG now, and I mean, I really don't have much to say about it, because it's up to them how they run it. I mean, I think the whole veteran thing is pretty stupid, because I mean, I've always seen it like, since FTG has existed for such a long time, it's important to recognize that there are people that have done good for the community, but maybe long ago and maybe only for like a couple of years. But when these people return, they should get their veteran back immediately. That's how I've always seen it. I know that they have probably built it up as me giving one specific person veteran every time and nobody else, but yeah, it has been the same for everybody, not just one person. To give you all a very clear example, when Mad Shark was unbanned and rejoined, I was the one that made sure he got his veteran back. I couldn't really push for him getting his moderator back. That was not a very liked suggestion, yeah. And in general as well, about like the veteran role, like there was in the second meeting, I think it was brought up that there was 50 FKI members that still had veteran, but then they said, oh, but these people, they deserve to have veteran, before actually like I left the FTG Discord and I saw that they had removed like veteran from these people. So apparently it was a problem, just that they didn't like say it openly. Like, you know, even though these things are dumb, I mean, it's up to them, not up to me. And I also get the question very often if I want the FTG ownership back, but that's obviously, now you can probably understand that I don't. It may have appeared like it because of things I've said, but those things were also in a way to mislead Clayton and Joker, for them to basically have the wrong idea. They probably still to this day don't even realize that. They probably, even when they hear me say it now, they probably won't even accept that. But I mean, it's whatever. I mean, even in the event that members from FTG would reach out to me and be like, yeah, we're looking to overthrow Clayton and Joker. I mean, sure, I'd help them out. I would never reclaim the ownership, however. That's somebody else's job. Remember, I've already walked that path. I know where that path ends, and at the end of the day, I was nothing more than a stepping stone for these bastards. So, I mean, I would rather not do that all again, yeah. I've already gone the distance once, and yeah, I won't do it again, yeah. Yeah, and about my so-called retirement, that was something that was first even mentioned, and it was only mentioned in October in the video Skill Debunked in Memory channel, Mad Shark Returns. Then after that, everybody else started talking about it. Because apparently in the video I say in a couple of months, and it was wrong of me to say, because it made people think very literal. Like that's the thing, like either I'm taken very literal, or they take something I said and completely take it out of context and it means something completely different. So when I said like a couple of months, then 2 months later I'm getting asked like, oh, weren't you stepping down? You mentioned this like 2 months ago. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not now. The only reason I did mention this in this video was to prepare everybody that it will eventually happen. I didn't mean soon that it was that quick. And that's when everybody started placing bets on why I was retiring, that I was dying and I was sick and all kinds of things. It's still very much a secret kinda, yeah. So I mean, if they told any of you, I mean, just give me some message proof of them telling you, and I mean, you get a free Steam game, yeah. That's also, it was brought up that I've mentioned it a couple of times, and that I mentioned it a lot, that I had mentioned it for a year. That's just straight up BS. I mentioned it first in that video, and then it was mainly only mentioned by me when other people brought it up as some kind of like meme, and also I guess as some kind of like side thingy to this. I actually still have a lot of FTG footage laying around, and like some of it is actually legitimately kind of good footage, so I will actually be uploading that. Most people would probably delete it at this point, yeah, but I'm not most people, yeah. So there should probably be some videos released at some point that will include those videos. I don't know, like some of them are full online battles, and I guess I'll upload those like separately, but some of them will probably just random clips like put together, probably not even edited that much other than having them like put together, yeah. But so yeah, I think that's as much as I can say. I can probably sit and talk for days about FTG, but yeah, I don't think that's why we're here. Yeah, this is an OGR video after all, yeah, so we're gonna have to get to it. Yeah, I know that there's a lot of confusion here, that I did create OGR and did so with a couple of members, and maybe you weren't ones that I picked, but I mean, you are very free to join OGR. You don't have to leave FTG to join OGR, and if you play with us in BG3 and then join FTG in BG4, I don't really care. If you had a good time with us for a little while, that's all good then, yeah. But yeah, so when leaving FTG first, I knew I was gonna start over. I did not have all the pieces of the puzzle right then and there when I left. I was so far into FTG that I didn't ever think I was actually gonna have to leave, so a lot of the stuff was new to me. I spent a good amount of time looking back at my other accomplishments as well. That being the original traders group, looking for friends, Feed Me Pixels, Steam Companion, and other places. That the one that I've been in the longest is probably looking for friends. Now the Discord is called Friendship Tavern, but the Steam group chat still somehow exists, yeah. Still somehow active as well, yeah, all these years later. But yeah, looking back at all those things, they really put it into perspective for me that I am capable of a lot of things, because with the original traders group, for example, people that I suggested for moderator and admin are still carrying out their duties to this day. I guess it's also like I've been in FTG so long, so I actually forgotten like what I'm doing in FTG. Because my main mission throughout the years have been to create a place that people come to and they meet each other, and they have meaningful connections with each other. The person that brings people together so they actually get to meet each other. Because there's a lot of people I encounter in different places of the internet that when you talk to them you kind of realize, this guy would fit very well with this guy over here, yeah. And it also may seem that, you know, by creating a new place rather than, you know, transforming FTG into what I wanted, this also seem a bit weird. It seems like I'm making it harder for myself, but that's also like I walk against the wind while many other people, they blow in the wind, basically. That's also like one of the big reasons why I couldn't simply like kick Joker and Clayton from FTG, because even though they can probably make up some thingy now, they wouldn't know what to do if they were kicked from FTG. But I know what to do when I leave. I can stand on my 2 feet and bring myself back up. And interestingly, in the first weekend of me actually leaving FTG, I did spend my time on one of the Discords that I post memes on mainly. Yeah, I don't really hang out in there, yeah, but I saw that they had some Saturday hangout. The Discord is called the Night City Bar, so shout out to them, yeah, and shout out to Revenge Day. He makes music, so you know, check him out on Spotify. I'll put a link in the description to his Spotify, yeah. But I did hang out with them. It was kind of funny to talk to them, and they were like, yeah, oh, it's the meme man. That's what I'm known as, yeah. It was also kind of funny to them to say like, yeah, I just left the community I was in for like 14 and a half years, and they were all like, whoa, what happened? So yeah, I had a good time talking to them, yeah. But now over to the creation of OGR, yeah. So this all started with me reaching out to Jetty, Greedy Chris, and Numbers. And I know what you were already thinking from the beginning, like, oh yeah, he picked people that had problems with FTG, he made an anti-FTG to go at them, yeah. But that's really not what the intention was. For one, all three of these people have been treated bad by FTG to different extents. So they obviously know all of these things, and they are also the first ones that will speak out when we become too similar to FTG. That's why they were picked first, yeah. Like I said earlier, I used the FTG template to create the FTC Discord. That was the name picked by Numbers and Jetty. But yeah, that was a placeholder name already from the start, so don't think about it too much. Yeah. But even though my spark was reignited for doing these kinds of things, I was very nervous for like the first couple of public line battles that we were gonna do. I mean, I didn't know who's even gonna wanna show up to a line battle in BG3. I mean, come on now. The first event we actually had was phenomenal. We had a lot of people, and the intro you see to some of my videos when people are running on strange ways and lining up, and then the OGR logo coming in, that is from that line battle. And we did these public line battles with the 99th, and hopefully I can get Numbers to explain the 99th for us.
Bill asked me to talk about the 99th and its history and how we all merged with what now is Old Guard Reborn. 99th started as a bunch of awful scrim team and suckered Decoy into joining in December of 2023. They joined BGU and accused a bunch of people of hacking, and it just turned into a really bad situation. Fubar went out for milk and left Decoy in charge for several months of this entire circus. I joined in 2024 in June and became Decoy's helper. I fixed the server to where it was almost playable, what is now OGR Montreal. The clan was still pretty bad at the game overall and accused people of hacking and all sorts of dumb shit. Fubar comes back from milk and cigarettes run in July, August-ish, along with Jetty joining after a vote. Jetty and Fubar clashed a lot, and that led to an entire issue where I had to pull Fubar's admin and start a new Discord because Fubar was abusing Jetty in-game and Discord. At this point, Decoy took over fully, with me handling most of the server and the scrim team that played in fall 2024 BGU. December, I got a server that didn't suck as bad, OGR New York. March 2025, I got the EU Pug server and our BG1 server. At this point, Decoy and I were pretty wiped out with the game and running the clan, and Jetty and I started to hatch plans to merge with our old 42 CDO clanmates, Skill, Greedy Chris. Skill had been one of the few people that were good to me when I was in 42 CDO, and eventually it turned out that the idea was presented and approved by Decoy in May of 2025, and then we merged to become what is now OGR.
Alright, hey everyone, this is Ogre Mr. Decoy here. I was honestly gonna sit this video out, but God bless his souls, Mr. Numbers, Dildo himself, was a little bit too blunt, and I wanted to add a little context to what he was saying. So, as most of you know, we're from the 99th Regiment of Foot, which was the regiment that ran for, approximately a year and a half. It was originally run by I'm Dave for a short period, and then it went over to Fubar. Now, during that period, there was a lot of bullshit, a lot of drama, a lot of cheat accusations, and it kind of poisoned relationships with the community. So, with that being said, I chalk it up more to misunderstanding, not understanding how the configs actually work, that they're actually console commands and whatnot. I don't think it really came from a place of malice as much as just misunderstanding. But regardless, that kicked off some real bad times with community relations, to put it mildly. So, due to the stress, really, Fubar stepped away, or went out to get milk and cigarettes, as we like to call it. And unfortunately, I had to run the 99th during that period. So Numbers became my right hand. Our focus was really repairing the community relationships and growing the 99th as a whole. This is when most of the players really met us, got to know us. You know, we got our server hosted public events. There was actually a period where 3D stepped away, so we devote most of our time to just keeping the game going. As far as tournaments, numbers, Mr. Dildo himself loves to take that shit seriously. Most of us didn't because we got smoked. We knew it was coming. So, that being said, I view that as kind of a non-factor. What really started happening is real life started catching up with us. So, had guys like Nemi, guys like Belgi, Cannon Fodder, Carpro, they had real life issues to deal with, school, whatnot, making their way in the world. So, our numbers started to decline. That's when Numbers and Jetty, thinking they were all sneaky, brought the whole merger idea to me. And once I got to talk to Skill, Greedy, all of them, it just fit right. It fit like a glove. And that pretty much brings us to where we are today. I don't really want to keep ranting and ranting, so I just wanted to add a little context. And I'll hand it back to Skillia.
But yeah, the 99 for Shield people, they were the ones keeping Battlegrounds 3 alive, basically doing these events every now and then. Even early on, I was introduced to Decoy, who was the 99th leader. And very early on it was talked about that we needed to have a merge. It happened kind of quickly. I was told like, yeah, the 99th maybe want to merge with us, and then the next thing I knew I was in a meeting with Decoy and Jetty and Numbers. And then later on Leffels and some other guys were brought in as well. It was a pretty good meeting and the merge was discussed. It was kind of a weird meeting for me because it was like, I've had many merge meetings in FTG. Now all of a sudden I don't have a decade community on my shoulders to be like, yeah, I know what to do now, yeah. Now it's kind of like, yeah, now we have just started, yeah, we have nothing, yeah. Both 99th and Decoy, like all of them are great people. So the merge worked out fine, and today we are OGR. And we get more in on Decoy later. Yeah. And then we also had like an alliance with the 50th KI or Freikorps. It was kind of the same thing. Me and Johan was brought into a meeting and we talked, and it was a good talk. Yeah. Even though me and Johan used to have issues back in 2013, I mean, we haven't had issues in a while. We see eye to eye these days, I'm pretty sure. But we have an alliance with them, so we share members, and our members can go over there and have events with them. They can come to us and have events with us. It's great. There hasn't been a whole lot done with this alliance yet, but I think the future probably holds a couple of things for us. Yeah. We also, in the beginning, like I said, we were called FTC, and that was a placeholder name, but I got changed to OGR. We actually had a wide vote on all of this, and I'll put a screenshot here of some of the names because I've actually forgotten most of them. I know that Couch Force Gaming was one of them. For me, it was kind of like, I've been known as FTG Skill for so long, so new tags, I mean, for me, it was kind of, it's best if everybody else decides, because like the FTG tags back when they were voted on in like 2012 or something, it was my personal one, so that's why everybody voted for it, I guess. It was nice to have a vote on it. Yeah. We also had like a thing where they could make logos and they would win prizes, and that's how we got some of the beautiful logos we have today. We'll probably have these competitions again soon, I'd say. And don't reference me on that one, because it may take a year or two before it actually becomes a thing. Yeah. So we have Saturday night gaming, and we have Wednesday night game. The Wednesday night is literally at night for me, so can only be at them if I'm sick or have vacation. But they have some good events then when they play some co-op games together. And the same with the Saturday night. We have played a lot of different games. There is probably a lot of videos uploaded by both me and Leo that you can go watch on these events. Leo uploaded like the first couple of videos. I've done the OGR random moments, and for some particular ones where we play Nuclear Nightmare a lot, I've made entire videos on that as well. So yeah, go watch those, yeah, give them a like or 5, yeah. And go donate to Leo's Ko-Fi so he gets some money too for his efforts, yeah. I'll put a link to that in the description, yeah. And we also have like a looking for players channel where one can basically say like, oh yeah, I'm looking to play this game, does anybody want to play? Most of the times this channel isn't used, and it's used instead in other channels, but I mean, it's okay, at least the idea is born from the area. As for our successes, we have had pretty good attendance, I would say, and attendance isn't everything. That's also something I'd like to point out, that you can have a lot of people one weekend and you can have a lot less people the next weekend. For the most part, I think we have had a pretty good attendance. We have even managed to like grow the Steam charts for Battlegrounds 3. You can see that they peak every Sunday when we have our Sunday hangout, I guess. We've also had a siege, a scrim, and a line battle against 12th. Those have also been pretty interesting, that there actually still exists a competitive nature to it. It doesn't mean super much to me, winning things and beating others, but I mean, a lot of people like it, so it's good in that sense. And it's also great to fight the 12th. Yeah. They unfortunately have one member that keeps on dragging them down. Yeah, they probably should get rid of him. Yeah. He has too many coins in his pocket. Yeah. As for future plans, because we have been going for almost a year now, for me personally, it's been nothing but amazing seeing how well it's been going. Because I had a lot of doubt in the beginning, but that doubt has actually been very replaced. It genuinely shows that we can do things and we can make things happen together. Yeah. But yeah, for future plans, we may have a yearly podcast hosted by Yeti coming up. Yeah. And this is still a maybe. I'm trying to push it, but whenever we talk about it, some people get very quiet. I guess it's time for shoutouts. Shit, I've been sitting and talking for so long. My throat is so dry, you wouldn't even imagine. But yeah, for shoutouts, we first of all have Jedi, Greedy Chris, and Numbers, because they were the first ones I reached out to, and they are all really great people. Jedi had to take a lot of the BS from Joker and Clayton, because they did reach out to Jedi about it. Jedi's also been very helpful with getting people together in the earlier stages and masterminding a lot of things behind the scenes that people often don't know about. And I know I've had many issues with Jedi in the past, but all of that is behind us now, and I honor Jedi at a very high regard. And then we have Greedy Chris. He's an interesting character. Don't you all agree? Nah, but Greedy Chris is a great one. I've vented a lot on him as well as Jedi about the issues in FTG. Greedy Chris has experienced many of these issues himself, but he's always been very forgiving towards me, even though we've had fights where we have yelled at each other and shit in the past. But now he's calmed down, and he actually initially told me that he didn't want to play BG3, but he has actually played BG3 a fair amount of times, even leading in public line battles and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm very thankful for your effort, Chris, even though I know you don't really like doing these things. Yeah. He thinks he's the only one. Yeah. Nah, but I definitely get it. Yeah. And Numbers as well, for putting in a lot of effort in making OGR work, always being very active, even being one of those that bring me into BG3 on days when we're not even scheduled to play, even when they call us out as cheaters. We all pray for your health, Numbers, and I'm very thankful for your efforts, even though back in the old 4-2 CDO days, you used to sit and say a lot of shit to me in DMs. I mean, many of the things you were right on when you were critiquing how FTG was running. I can tell you that much. And then we have Decoy, and Decoy I've only known for a year now, but I think me and Decoy click very well. One of the first things he told me is that he doesn't like to lead, he doesn't like to be the leader. Yeah. I'm like, damn, is this my soulmate? Yeah, we have so much in common. Yeah. But yeah, Decoy has been together with Numbers getting the 99th going for a couple of years, and they've had their fair share of issues themselves. Yeah. He still puts the effort in, and even when having a lot of stuff going on in real life, he always makes sure to show up whenever he can, and very thankful for the effort he puts in. Yeah. When it comes to the former 99th people in general, they're all great as well. We have Leffels and Jaybird, and they're basically a walking comedy. It's always a great time when both of them are around, and they appear a lot in the random moments and the Nuclear Nightmare videos. They're pretty funny, and Leffels makes maps as well, which is very great. Yeah. Now we have Megabit and Cannon Fodder, Godspeed, Catgirl, Hurt Me Daddy, DS Ninja, Logie Riz, and Carp. There might be others that I'm missing. Yeah. You're all very good players, and I feel like we have all clicked very well. Yeah. And also big shout out to Johan and the people of 5th FKI. Very great people as well. And then we also come to the FTG people that are still with me to this day. Of those we have obviously Lapja and Steve. Lapja has always had my side of things. He's somewhat active still. He even hosts one of the servers that we have, the Amsterdam one. Steve has himself also had his fair issues with FTG, where he's now, if he joins a channel, they'll bring him into the channel they're in to have a talk with them. And yeah, DeLorean and Morrowind, very great to see you guys again. Abers, Shine even, he's in here. Supernova, Gecko, Shadow Hunter, Gravy and Panda, of course. Joe Jan, Mr. Irrelevant as well, Leo as well, and as I said, go donate to his Ko-Fi, Pouchy as well, Sharp Killer obviously, Vorten Einhorn, then Inverse or May or whatever name it is he has. He's also the one that introduced us to Nuclear Nightmare. Like when he first explained the game, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But then it turned out to be a really good game. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and mention like each and every one of you that are in the Discord, because only some of you are active. And we also have some newer additions that I mean, obviously we have Slider. I mean, kinda a new addition. He showed up in the last event at least. I've only been asking him for like a year. Death Trooper as well, and Two-Headed. Very nice to have you guys with us, as well as Dr. Roomba and Lord Moose. Movie, like a lot of you guys have been very great to have you. Yeah, all great people. And I know there's still some of you that are in FTG, but kind of spooked to join. But yeah, a lot of great people that we have, and they are the ones that make OGR happen. I only really started the whole thing. A lot of the things I actually come from like you guys actually like showing up and taking part in the discussions. That is what makes OGR happen. But yeah, for the moment we keep going as we have been going, and if there are any changes, then we do them. Yeah, it's been a great first year, to be honest. Very thankful to you all. I think I'm at the end of the video. Like I said, all has been great, and peace out to all OGR members and peace out to all FTG members. But yeah, this is probably the last video I have a major like FTG part in this. It probably won't happen in the next one. So yeah, now I've been talking for like 3 fucking hours, so yeah, it's probably time to edit this.